All right, so this is part 2 of the video drawing ellipses using perspective. Last time I said you want to use this HB pencil. And again, all you're going to do is just kind of make an arc. And you're making an arc, the reason why this is a little different than the other one, you're making an arc based off of how much space is being shown, where that center part is. So this one's going to be a little smaller because the space, this little section is smaller. And see this line, this diagonal line, your arc's going to kind of be somewhat diagonal along with it. See what I mean by that? And after that, you can start to kind of connect these forms. Work in that corner a little bit. And again, you rotate the paper. Don't rotate your body, just rotate the paper. It's a lot easier. This one kind of came out pretty quick. Okay. After that, once you kind of do that round, then you're going to get your B pencil. I've been using this a lot, so it's getting a little shorter on me. But you're going to use your B pencil. And again, I'm kind of rotating it, but it seemed that I was a little high there. And if you're a little high there, you can erase, and then you can kind of redraw it in. But if you're doing this correctly in terms of using the pencils, once you put this guy in, it's going to be darker than the rest, so the other values will kind of fade out. And if you were to draw a line straight across here, it should hit the other side at the same point. Doesn't look like this one does. Possibly this should be a little lower. You can always go back and fix it up and just kind of keep moving forward. I don't know why I'm drawing like that. I should be drawing like this. Why was I doing that? And see how thick I made this line? I might even go back in, erase it. And try to perfect that line. You're gonna notice at first that at some points it will be frustrating, and because you constantly make the same mistake, but it's just practice. You have to practice this over and over and over again in order to perfect it. I'm gonna do another arc. Rotate your paper. Arcs are getting smaller and smaller. See, this one I went a little too high, and once you turn it back around, you're kind of like, oh, that's going to look weird, so maybe I'll lower it. So I made my arc right here. This one you can tell that I went up a little too high, and as I'm pulling this down, it actually, there we go. Because it should just graze right here where the central line is. That's where that line should graze. And you kind of see it took me a few attempts to get it down to that point. So that's typical. You just gotta like work it out. I don't care if you're Michelangelo, you're not gonna whip an ellipse out. You have to like work at it, feel it out, make the mistakes every single time. The more you do it, you're gonna know what it should look like so you can correct it. But it's not just, don't get frustrated if you don't have this intuition, you can whip one out. Down the road, you can be like, oh, there's an ellipse there. If you just want to do like a quick sketch of something, you'll have that down. And again, the ones that get further down here are super tough because the smaller they are in terms of height, the more difficult they're to draw. And that's why I always do the arches first. You can see I really had to thicken this one up. I have to subtract some of that. The line kept going in that direction. I always do the edges first, where the crosshairs are. It's just easier to join the two shapes from the middle, because otherwise you're kind of swimming out here in no man's land and need something to connect to. This arc, I went way too far down, and you kind of see I perfected, or not perfected it, but I made my adjustments and got it to where I wanted it. This one is super tough, so I'm just gonna like really make just a ever so slightly turn. Same thing here, ever so slightly turn, and there's probably so many pencil lines that it's gonna be hard for you to determine what's what in the end, but you'll see it. You'll get it there. And this is where you probably want to sharpen. And I'm going on an angle like this. I probably want to be more of use the point of the pencil there. This side feels good. It's this side that's a little funky. There we go. A sharp pencil goes a long way. And then we'll connect this guy. And so after you do this round, and I call this a quick round, like these four here. This is the second round. You're gonna get your B pencil, and then you're gonna go on top of the line. If you have to make adjustments, make your adjustments, and then go on top of the line. But the B pencil is gonna be a little bit softer, and it's more of a committed line. So if there's an area that you're just not sure of, go back to the HB, erase, and perfect it, and then you just basically tracing on top of this with this guy, and then you get that darker line, and then these little crosshairs eventually fade out. You don't erase them, they just kind of fade away. If you want to do a third layer using the B, perfect it, go for it, because at this point you can probably like be a little faster with your line. Once you finish this side, and then you are complete, and it should look like that one. And then you're going to submit these both as you see it. If you have to submit them separately, submit them separately, but if you have a piece of foam board laying around, you can tape it on there. You can also use your drawing board, tape it on there, bring it outside, take a quick photograph. When it's sunny, make sure the sun's not casting a shadow, and submit it. See you later.